Good morning and happy Saturday, everyone. It is fall here in the good old state of Missouri, and it's one of my favorite times of the year. Transformation, the leaves are changing. But welcome to another edition of Welcome to Life, where we're living in freedom and every day. I'm Patricia Watson. I'm your host. I have an incredible guest. It's a surprise. I can't wait for you to meet her. So grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and we will be right back. Well, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Hello, my friend.
Welcome, Zaneta. How are you today?
You know, I wouldn't be anywhere else but here with you. Excited.
I am so excited. I am so excited. I have been looking forward to this all week. And yeah, it's just really incredible. You are just a breath of fresh air.
Aw.
Lots of insight, lots of wisdom, and I literally cannot wait for everyone to know you like I know you, getting to know you even better. Happy Saturday, Linda.
Happy Saturday.
So, Zaneta.
Yes.
Just taking in your presence, my dear. Sometimes we don't realize the gifts that we have. One thing that I'm really learning is in each moment, recognizing the gifts that we wouldn't necessarily see as gifts. We always think of, we have to have a package, or it's our birthday, or it's a holiday, Christmas, whatever your beliefs are as well, that we have to extend the gifts. But sometimes just being in the presence of a person is a gift. Having someone on that's watching our show, Linda, is a gift, right? Yeah. And just really being mindful of those moments and those people, the interactions that we have. And so I'm honored. I honor you. I honor the space that we're in, and you are a remarkable gift. And I'm just really grateful that you're here. And so I just wanted to share that. That's one of the big lessons that's been on my heart the last couple of weeks. And this week really strongly is just every single thing. You go to the grocery store, you see people and they smile at you. What a gift, and just being, just recognizing these moments, every single moment. So thank you for being here, Anna.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. And, I'm honored. I'm honored to be here because, like what you said, we miss out on the gifts that God has given us. That is right in front of our face, and like in your show, living in freedom every day. I mean, what a concept.
Yeah.
What a concept. Living in freedom. What does that freedom look like? The freedom of seeing like what you said, in the grocery store, your clerk. Thank you for your presence. Yes. You're here to service me, and I'm here to be grateful for you and the energy that you give me. And then I talk to the clerks. I do. When I see that they're a little bit down, when I feel their energy is a little bit on the low side, I would love to give some of my energy, to the next person. I'm not greedy. That's what we're here for, right?
Exactly.
We're here for each other, so I would ask them, how was your day? And then we'll start chit-chatting, and then you'll see them perk up a little bit.
Yes.
And that is living freedom every day.
every day. And that's the concept, for me, what it means to me. And what does it mean to live in freedom every day? That is freedom. And for me, every day, that's a reminder. Every time, I have a guest on the show, what freedom we have to be able to hear your ideas, hear your perspectives, hear your opinions without any type of boundaries, right? Or
Right.
political affiliation or anything. No, it's Zaneta, and she has an incredible story, and she's a powerful human being, right? Let's just listen. But what a gift. That's living in freedom every day. I mean, that whole just that concept of living in freedom every day is a topic in and of itself that you could spend hours on, right? Um,
Yes. Yes.
but it's really important for me. And this show's not about me, it's about you. But how that whole thing came to be, I'll tell you about that sometime. But it's very powerful. So thank you for acknowledging that, though.
Yes. Yes. I mean, you know, we have to be careful as to where we go and where we take ourselves.
Yes.
I'm very careful as to who I approve, or it's not that um, it might be taken as arrogance.
Mhm.
It might be, but I'm careful as to who I associate myself with. Very careful with the invitations and things like that. I have to be
Sure.
careful because
Sure.
we have what we call internal. We receive certain things
Hmm. Yes.
and we take it home,
Yes.
and then we don't realize that we're taking somebody else's energy and then we're bringing it home, and then now our home is chaos and didn't even know it was because of somebody else.
Exactly.
So coming here, living in freedom every day, heck yeah, this is the best place to be.
It really is. I love it. And you brought up a very good point. What is our energetic imprint that we're leaving behind? So,
Mhm.
but what are we also receiving? We have to be mindful of who are we bringing into our life? Who are we interacting with? Some things we can't help because we have to have certain interactions. But when we're conscious and we're really mindful, as you say, of that, then
Mhm.
that's a whole nother level of freedom for ourselves as
Yes.
we go through life,
Yes.
right? Are
Yeah.
we seeing that mirror and those reflections? Is it the reflection that we want, or is it the
Mm.
reflection that's on a unified for growth, for evolution of
Yeah.
our lives and the path that we're on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Yes. So we definitely need to talk about, how this came
Yes, I would
about. I'm
happy to share. But today
Yes.
it's all about you. I want everyone to know. So I will tell you that one of my what I love is that I love being able to um, interact with people, but more importantly, especially in the climate that we're living in, forget a pandemic or anything like that. Just in general, we get so involved with the day-to-day activities of our lives and what have you, that we lose perspective that there's really good people out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have incredible stories. But have you ever stopped to say, what is your story? Hmm.
Hmm.
Right? Have
Yes.
we really stopped to ask, what is your story?
Yeah.
Because some of the things that I feel that people struggle with is because they are afraid or don't have the confidence
Hmm.
to not have the ability to say, what is your story? I would like to get to know you. Their heart is saying it, but because whatever their upbringing is or whatever, it's suppressed just the kindness of
Hmm.
and listening to our soul's heart. I know you met people before. It's like, that person looks really interesting. I wonder what their story is. Well, why don't you just ask? Or why don't you, hey, would you like to have a cup of coffee? Whatever. So I love being able to have guests where you have a short period of time to expose the world to other people's stories, and hopefully it will bless them and that they will get something out of it, that they will be empowered to say, let me be more mindful of that. What is her story? She looks interesting. Or I just want to get to know that person. And I know you have a credible story. I don't know where this is going to go today, but I'm just happy to be able to share you and share you with the world. So
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So I guess you want my to hear my story.
I want you, here's what I want.
Okay.
I want you, this is an open platform
Okay.
of share what is on your heart. So I know you have an incredible story. Um, how much you want to share, I don't know. I don't really have a structured format where we're going to talk about this. That bores me for me. I'm not saying that's the wrong way.
Pause.
But I like getting to the heart of just
Yeah.
be free. This is just and part of living in freedom every day. You have to be free to be able to express yourself. So it's whatever, my dear, you would like to share. You've got quite a colorful, beautiful story, and it's whatever you want. So, who is Zaneta? What would you like to share? And let's just go
Oh.
from there.
Oh my. Okay. Who is Zaneta? Oh gosh. Um, I'm the dorky, quirky, love to laugh Zaneta. Um, but it took a long time to get there.
Hmm.
It took a very long. I love your shirt that says road trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very long, bumpy, a lot of detours, a lot of stops along the way that couldn't leave, kind of road trip before I got here to
Mm.
where I can, speak freely about my past of
Sure.
um, 15 years of sexual abuse and sex trafficking, at the hands of
Wow.
of my family. This is at with my
Mm.
family, and
Wow.
I can speak lightly of it because I've already went through that journey. I have a lot of scars that
Yeah.
that I can show that are inner scars, but they don't show on the outside because it's a reminder. Scars are reminders. They don't hurt anymore,
Hmm.
but it's a reminder. Oh, I remember when I got. Oh yeah, this was a third-degree burn. It doesn't look like a scar anymore. It really
Right.
didn't
Right.
because that's how my body healed. But I can remember I had a third-degree burn when I was ironing my uniform when I was in the military, and I put it on high, and when I put my hand down, the iron went on my hand.
Yeah.
I did not scream. I did not. I just took it off, put it, ran cold water, went to the infirmary, and they said I had a third-degree burn. And so I remember that, but I don't remember the pain.
Mm.
It's a reminder.
Right.
Scars are reminders.
Right.
Um, so when I talk about my past of sexual abuse, sexual trafficking, it it empowers me to be the voice or to be a vision of someone who's still stuck there, who's
Mm.
still stuck in the pain, who's still going through that road trip.
Right.
There is a destination. There is, yes, there is a destination where you will get to, where you can be um, living in freedom
Mm.
every day.
Yeah.
That is the destination. And that destination continues on. Um, so I had to learn forgiveness. I really did. Forgiveness is a huge part of healing because when you don't forgive, you're allowing power to imprison you of that
Right.
person, whatever it is, whatever. If it's not sexual, assault.
Yes.
If it's a infidelity in a relationship, that hurts deep. That
Hmm.
hurts. That's trauma. So if I'm gonna talk about anything, let's talk about trauma and the healing of it.
Right.
Talk about trauma and the lesson that we learn from trauma,
Right.
and where we can focus with the trauma. Um, I remember, I mean, I just wanted to end my life. I remember that
Mhm.
distinctly. And I remember yelling at God, why can't I just die?
Right.
And there's
Yes.
a reason why. There's a reason why. Um, so in the trauma itself, we learn we have to open our eyes as to what it is, what happened, what took place, what was stolen,
Mm.
what was put in that's not yours, and that's where you can start to come out and recognize what was stolen and what was put in that's not yours. When you recognize those two, then you start to heal. You start to go a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. It took me about 20, 30 years to get here.
Yeah, that was my next question. At what point in that journey did you get to that point where you were ready to work on that with those 2 points specifically?
Well, I thought that I forgave a long time ago. Sometimes when we say, "Oh, I forgive," I
Yeah.
pray for the person, and
Mhm.
then when you hear their name, here comes another emotion.
Right. Right.
or somebody talks about them and say how wonderful they are, and you're like, "Ugh, if you only knew."
Right.
These are emotions that are still raw, that are still not healed. So I thought I did. I thought I forgave, until it happened to my daughter.
Oh
Yes,
my gosh.
yes, there are triggers. There are definite triggers. Yeah, until it
Zanetta.
happened to my own daughter. That I could not. I couldn't. I couldn't go through this journey knowing what my daughter's road lies ahead. I I know it too well, and I didn't want her to go through it. But sometimes what we don't want, we have to be the co-pilot
Mm.
and go through that journey with them. No, 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 no. We're gonna make a left over here because there's a big pothole over there.
Yeah.
I know this, so just trust me on this a little bit. Well, no, mom, okay. I'm gonna brace for it. And when she goes into that deep depression, I know that okay, here we go. Let's go. You know. So it's been a journey, and it's taken me now 10 years,
Wow.
10 years plus to be that co-pilot with my daughter, and now she's flying solo.
Mm. Wow. That's incredible. There's so many things going through my mind right now. Um, we all know that human trafficking is a big thing right now, right? Has been for a long time. It's just been undercover. It's exposed now, right? And it's people aren't used to those hard truths either. They don't want to because it's like the boogeyman doesn't exist. So the boogeyman's out there. Whatever you want the boogeyman to be, there are dark forces out there that.
Yeah.
So my question is like, you are on your own journey of
Mm.
healing and going through those different phases as a mother, right? A mother protects their children. As a mother, when you finally realize that because of your own experience, what was that like?
Oh,
Did it and I know that you it was a lot of emotions, but can you share what that really felt like? And then did it put you in a position where I'm going to protect my daughter, or how do I help my daughter? What happened there? Did
yeah.
you give up hope? Did it take you to another dark place where it's like, I don't know if I can do this? What this is so deep, and thank you for sharing this. There's people
Yeah.
that need to hear this story. Um, because there's a lot of abuse like this that goes on, and it's never ever brought to the forefront. So thank you for sharing your heart
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Anything that I can, help. I'm a speaker for RAINN, which is Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network. and we speak to the victims, the ones that finally come out free, and so how I felt, gosh, when I received the news, I was in disbelief. I had no emotions,
Mm.
and when I noticed that I was numb, I was in danger zone. Because when you don't
Mm.
have emotions, when you're numb, that means you're in a place, you're such in a dark place that nothing around you affects you. You're just, it's almost, so it's like, a good analogy would be, it's like you're asleep.
Mm.
You don't hear anything, you don't see anything, you don't feel anything, you're just asleep. Um, it's almost like when you go for surgery, you don't know what's
Mhm.
happening. You're just in this abyss
Right.
of nothingness. And when I saw everybody else crying inside me, I was like, what's wrong with them? Don't they know it's time to get to work?
Mm.
So now the numbness turned into, what's wrong with you? To
Yeah.
anger. It turned to
Yeah.
anger, um, and then it turned into denial. It there was a whole bunch of just emotions going through, and then the ultimate, I blamed myself.
Mm.
I blame myself because I was a part of a church that believe in generational curses. So I was made to believe that I brought this upon my daughter.
Oh, wow.
And that is so far from the truth. you know, I didn't, I didn't do this to her. The individual did.
Right.
It's that sick person that did that. But all of that emotions, it took me back. It really did. It opened up wounds that I knew healed. It was like another trauma. This time it was a little bit deeper because it's my daughter.
Right.
My trauma is, I can take care of me,
Right.
but it's always easier uh, to see yourself, to accept trauma
Mhm.
happening to you, but it's so hard to see your loved one, especially your children, especially your children. It's the hardest thing ever. Um, and so that's when I decided, you know what? No, because I didn't have a role model. I didn't have anyone to show me how to get out. I didn't have anyone to say, "Hey, you're gonna be okay. It's gonna be a bumpy ride, but you're gonna be okay. I will be
Right.
here with you. I will, whatever time, noon, in the morning, late at night, it does not matter. You can talk to me." I didn't have that. I didn't have, any of that. So I chose to be that for my daughter. And I knew it was going to be bumpy because I knew she was going to go through the same emotions that I did, that
Right.
I had went through, that she's going to project to me.
Right.
And I took every single lick.
Wow.
I cried many nights, many, many nights. Thank God during this journey, I'm with my husband Jeff, who supported me, who
Right.
who said, "You're going to be okay." And now I have that. Now I have that. So, yeah, there was a lot of emotions, a lot of emotions, but I knew where it could be, and I had to keep that focus. I had to
Sure.
keep that focus where I was going to, lead her. She had her own time, and I had to accept that too. She had her own way of healing, her own way of forgiving, her
Mhm.
path, and I had to sit there and watch it.
Yeah. Did you find it hard, or did she find it hard? I mean, it's one thing to be able to, I'm going to go talk to mom about something or talk to dad about something or a family member or a friend. Um, did your daughter have a hard time finally admitting that to you, so that she, to come to you for support or comfort, or did you have to draw that out of her because you recognize the signs? Um, if you're comfortable, do you feel compelled to share that? Because I'm really curious as to, especially, young people are so impressionable, right? And can I talk to mom? Will they disown me? Will she blame me? I mean,
Mhm.
there's a whole set of emotions just within her mind,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So, what was that journey like?
So, because of what happened, I knew that, she was going to do one or the other. Either she's going to go to the extreme
Hmm.
or to the extreme, extravagant out there,
Yeah,
because that's what happened to me. I went to the extreme. Um, you know, when I mean extreme, I mean like, having multiple boyfriends, multiple partners, drugs, alcohol, that
yeah,
extreme. And then there's the other extreme of seclusion. Everything is, nobody matters. It's no, I'm gonna seclude myself. I'm gonna hide. I'm going to not talk to anyone. So you see those two in kids that have been traumatized,
mm,
or even in adults. You'll see those two. With the adults, you'll see one very loosely, and then you'll see one very secluded and don't want to be bothered by anyone. Um, so she went to the extreme.
oh wow.
You know, I was like, okay, good, because I know that route. I do know the
Yeah,
other route, but only limited knowledge. Um, so it took her. Let me see. Today is October, July. This past July,
really.
just this past
Wow.
July. It was a great birthday gift for me.
Oh,
She called a day before my birthday, and I haven't spoken to her in so many years that it was her choosing.
mm,
It wasn't because we were estranged. No, she went to hiding on purpose. She didn't want to. So when she called me and she said, "Mom, I am so sorry
mm,
that I put you through," and I was like, "No, no, I'm in this journey with you. You didn't put me through. I chose to be in this journey with you."
yes.
And she said, "Gosh, we haven't spoken like this in over a decade." I said, "I know.
Oh,
I
wow.
finally have my daughter back."
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's still not fully there, but she is on her way. She is on her way, and I just talked to her and say I'm so very proud of her. I knew she was going to be. I knew she was going to make it. I knew it.
Yes.
Because even though we don't talk to our loved ones, even though we don't talk to the people that we have issues with, or we have falling outs with, or they have a falling out with us, we can still be present with them,
Yes.
sending prayers, thinking
Right.
about them, thinking about, the times where you had a great time, the way you had
Mhm.
a great conversation. Those are the things that you need to think about. And they will say, I was just thinking about you. Huh, I wonder why.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You ever experience you think you're just thinking about someone and then they call you?
Oh yeah. It just happened recently,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's what it is.
Mhm.
It's because you were thinking and then you sent that
Mhm.
out, and then they were like, huh, let me call Patricia. Hey girl, what's going on? I just thought about you.
What's
Yeah,
up?
yeah. And that's what happens when you're having uh, an argument or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Go back to the good times. Go back
Yeah.
to think about those things and play it in your mind, because we all have a story, like what you said. We all have a story, but we can change the narrative. We can
Exactly.
change the next chapter,
100%.
because what we do in the present becomes past.
Yes. Yes.
You're,
One
you're,
of one of my dear friends, he always would say, we all within our stories, right, that we have, we're not part of that story anymore in the present, right? Because that's not who we are, because we're evolving. We have a new narrative. However, for teaching moments, right,
mhm,
that
mhm.
is our story
Yeah.
because that happened. But as we
Yes.
go along, right, in our present moment, that's not who you are. That's not your story. We have a new narrative. We're living in freedom every day, right?
Yes.
When you talk about, I was thinking when you were saying about when you have disagreements with your family members or friends or whatever, think about those good times. Think about those are, and that's what I was trying to relate earlier. Those are gifts. We just see it. Oh, we had, it was going. Let's go down memory lane. Well, no, let's talk about what a gift that is.
Yes.
And then maybe we won't be so commercialized in our thinking that we have to have tangible items. Here you go, Zaneta. I hope you like this necklace, or I hope you like this watch, or I hope you like this cup, because you have been a gift the whole time. But
Mm-hmm.
thank you for this tangible gift as well, because now when I wear it, I think of you. I think of the beauty. I think of those beautiful times, right? It's
Yeah.
just an added perk,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes, it is. And I love how you said that. The tangible things are okay. I mean, it's traditional. It,
Hmm.
it's the it's the common thought,
Hmm.
um, that when you give a gift, it's an item.
Yeah.
But the gift of presence,
Hmm.
the gift of lending an ear,
Right.
the gift of lending a shoulder,
Hmm.
you know, giving a hug, not saying anything. Because sometimes,
Right.
I do some teaching that, when it comes to trauma, what do you do?
Hmm.
I don't know what to do. Don't do anything. Just sit down. You don't need to say
Right.
anything.
Right.
Just a presence. Just letting them know that somebody is there.
Yes.
When they want to talk, then listen
Yes.
to understand and not listen to respond.
Right.
Or if they want to cry, let them.
Hmm. Hmm.
Silence speaks so louder
Hmm.
than any words that can be uttered.
100%. 100%. But it's like, as you go through life, just day to day activities, you go to work, the mundane responsibilities that you have, and you don't really think about trauma, right? Some people's trauma is they got stuck in traffic and, oh my God, life is over, right? Or, they were in the grocery store and they had to wait 2 minutes longer when you have 50 items in the 10 express lane that clearly says 10. That's your trauma, right? Then you get into that whole concept of interactions with people and having a real relationship with people, a deep connection with people. Not saying you're going to have that with everyone, but it's so superficial, right? So they can't handle those types of trauma. So then when something like this happens, an assault, whether it's an emotional assault, sexual assault, whatever type of assault, they haven't even been taught the basics of communications, the basics of adapting to put things in perspective. That's really not trauma. You just you want attention, right? Some people are seeking that attention, but then when life really happens to them and they've had something like this that's devastating, that is, and I'm not saying that getting stuck, maybe that is the only trauma that they have. I mean, I just don't have a lot of sympathy for it for me. I just don't. So probably not the best person to talk to lend that ear to, because I'm just like, snap out of it, sugar coat. Snap up to it. May want to reevaluate trauma. Do you want to hear my story, or do you want to hear Zaneta's story? That, we can show you what would you do to cope if something like that happened, right? So my point is people's different perspectives of what they consider trauma, right? It's not even a layer thing. They don't have the coping mechanisms to even communicate to say hello, let alone I need help. That's, you went from here to here, right? There's a lot of many steps in between that time to get to that point of having the ability to and wanting that unconditional support, but not knowing. And so we're led to wrong people that are not the best choices based on where we're at in life. So I say that to say, when you talk about having that support and being there for people, I think one of the biggest things that people need to, and I hope that they're hearing you when you say this, is that unconditional support of no matter what, no matter where, no matter when, no matter how, do not be afraid, right? And when you have that, when you can land on as that co-pilot, that co-pilot is your ride or die, that's when magic happens, because that's when they can start that process to begin to take that first step. Well, does she really mean it? She was never going to be there for me. And then you show that, yes, then it gives them a little more courage. I'm going to share a little bit more this time, and I'm going to try to shock her. Because she'll be devastated when she hears this, and you're just like, yeah, continue. Okay. So my point is that people go through that space because they've never been taught that you can do that and be okay and be in a safe space to do it.
Yeah.
And recognize those gifts along the way and honor those gifts. It's like, wow. And just say more, please.
Yeah.
I like this feeling.
Yeah.
I want more. I want to attract more of those types of people in my life, because you deserve it. And it's that sense of worthiness. I am worthy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to touch on the traffic and the number 10, on the 10 pile. The question is, why would that be trauma? So if there's trauma, when you're in traffic and this is causing you trauma, it's not because of the traffic. It has to be something else. It has to be, because traffic is not it's not harming you in any way. The only thing that it's really doing, you're being boxed in. You can't go left, you can't go right, you can't go forward, you can't go backwards. So you're in this stuck moment and you feel trapped. So what about that feeling, and the same feeling comes out when you're in traffic? What about that happened? So sometimes we don't realize that things that happen to us back in, I don't know, as a kid, as a toddler, as a preteen, teenager, young adult, some things happen that we don't know it caused trauma, but then when we're put in a situation again, we blow up and we don't know why. Like the person in the grocery store with the 10, oh gosh, what is about that 10? Was it at 10? Was it at 10 o'clock that something happened to you, that you got, slapped around, or whatever it is? Or was it when you were 10 years old? I remember when I was 10 years old. So that number triggers
Mhm.
something in the brain, because the brain is a wonderful thing. It tells you a whole bunch of information.
It does, exactly.
It tells you, um, so the brain will see that and it will trigger, and then you'll start, once the brain is triggered and gets, then the emotion comes up. So that's the only time the emotion comes up, is when your brain remembers. So the question would be, would you allow your emotions to override your brain? Because think about it.
Mhm.
I'm talking about trauma.
Yes.
I'm sitting here smiling.
Exactly.
Like, what is wrong with this woman? She shouldn't be crying and can't get her words out because, oh my God, that's just traumatic. No. Um, I made mention that this Me Too movement, I cannot say that I'm in the Me Too movement.
Mhm.
I can support it because I'm not in the Me Too.
Right.
It did happen to me, but I've already conquered that.
Right.
I am no longer a victim.
Right.
I am no longer a survivor.
Yes.
I am a conqueror.
Yes.
Total different, very different from survivor. Uh, I've noticed that, first you're a victim. Yes, you have that trauma. Then you
Mhm.
then you make it, right. You,
Mhm.
you make it, so you're
Yes.
so you're a survivor. Oh, I'm a survivor. I'm not making light of anyone who is in that.
Right. I understand.
But I'm just showing as to the reason why I can speak on it and smile.
Mhm.
Because the reason for my smile is not because I dismiss it and no, it's because the smile is, gosh, what a ride.
Exactly.
I am here and we made it. And oh my gosh, let us tell everybody else how we came out of.
Yes.
Yeah, so when you're on a
Yeah.
roller coaster and you just enjoy it, like, oh yeah, that's the best one.
Yeah.
But and and being in the conquer side, I can talk about, I'm like, yeah, trauma, you don't have control over me.
Right. No
I
power.
I now have power over what happened.
Exactly.
I now control it. I now speak the narrative. I now navigate it instead of it navigating me.
Right. Right. That is, I love that you say that because I am 100% in alignment with it. It's like the example I like to use is like when you're sick, right? What does sick look like, right? People, whether you have, I'll use cancer as an example, right? And people are, and again, I'm not making light of any of that because it is a journey. But once you figured out, like, I can be empowered with this and use this for good, and I can put on some lipstick or whatever makes you feel good and go to the doctor. And then people look at you like, we don't look sick. Well, what does sick look like? Because I'm in a phase now where I am happy because the gift is that I can walk into this building. The gift is I can talk to you, right? The gift is that hopefully you can see that you can have this too if you choose to,
Mm,
right? So what does that trauma look like, right?
mhm.
What does being traumatized look like? You can't be in a victorious because you are victorious. You have that power. I mean, think about, let that just sit and resonate with you, right? Trauma, your daughter, and now you're living a victorious life. You're living in freedom
Yes.
every day, right?
Yes.
What does that look like? I want it to look like that. And now you know that I'm here and that it can happen, right?
Yes.
Who
Yes.
who wouldn't want a piece of that and to feel that and to know that? And it's not like you're saying you can't cry or you can't feel any of that because you did all that. But the thing about it is, I just really want people to hear that is that You are not that person. You are not that. You are not a survivor. You have conquered that. Conquered.
Conquered.
Power. Those
Power.
are massive, massive words that have some powerful energy.
Yeah.
Powerful energy
Yeah.
to
But
propel us to take those next steps.
yeah, and what it is that because we're so bombarded with, oh, I'm a survivor, survivor, survivor.
Hmm.
So that goes in our brain. Oh, I'm a survivor. And so what you don't know or what you don't realize is what you say you are is what
Hmm.
you become.
Yes.
So if you say I'm a victim, you're going to be a victim. If you say I'm a survivor, you're still going to be in survival mode. What is a
Yes.
survivor? Survivor is one who keeps surviving on
Hmm.
survival mode, um, on this, what's, I'm on alert, kind of, what's, kind of, mentality. But when you say conquer, total different. It settles you.
Yes.
It's like, oh, yeah, I'm a conqueror. I have
Yeah.
conquered this. Now, does it mean that you're immune to it now? No. It means you just know what to do.
Hmm.
It just means that, okay, here comes another trauma. All right, let's go.
Exactly.
Let's tackle this. How am I going to tackle this? How am I going to conquer this? Not survive it. Not how am I going to survive
Right.
this? How am I going to conquer this? And
Mm.
we have that in us. If you talk to anyone who has uh, uh, been in a situation where life and death is at their door, they don't go to survivor mode. They go to how am I going to get out of here?
Right.
What am I going to do? Because it's in us, it's inborn in us. Like that man who was trapped when he was hiking for,
Hmm.
I think it was like 7 days. Don't quote me on that. But he wound up cutting his leg off.
Leg off.
Now, that's conquering that situation.
Yes.
That's in us. It's in us. And when we are in a conscious state that we can get there, because we
Hmm.
don't need to be in that situation to get to the okay, I need to conquer this.
Yeah.
We don't need to be in that dire situation to have that come out. You can have the consciousness now to be, I'm going to be a conqueror. I'm going to conquer
Mhm.
this. I'm going to, we do it with everything else.
Right.
I'm going to conquer this fear, this
Right.
stage, this stage fright. I have the fear of speaking. I'm going to conquer this. Well, conquer trauma too. It's the
Yeah.
same concept,
Yes.
same process, same thing. It's up here.
Yes. I think it's beautiful. I really am just it gives me great joy to hear that because you think I love to read, and you have it, what we put into our minds, what we say every day. My friend, she sent me this. She believes she could, so she did. Right. So
Oh,
it's a,
yeah.
it's a deck of cards that
Hmm.
has just a beautiful, empowering stuff. Um, and but when you really realize, like every single day, every moment when we're speaking, if we would be mindful, be conscious, be mindful, be aware, conscious and mindful and aware of the things that come out of our mouth, our relationships would be different, our conversations with people would change, our perspective when we go out in the world would be different, because it's like,
Hmm.
how am I really impacting somebody? Is it going to be that, like, you're stuck in the line, like you said, is that really trauma that you can't even smile and say hello, or just smile? You
Yes.
don't have to do anything. Just nodding of the head. We go by homeless people and they're invisible.
Mm,
Like, we don't even see them
mm,
because we've already judged that they're homeless. Well, do we know their story?
right.
Some people take advantage of the system. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just in general,
Right.
walk right by them. And my where I'm going with this is that when with child trafficking and sex trafficking being so alive right now in this world we're living in, we look at these different types of illusions, right? How do we know that some aren't portraying as homeless people, but they're not homeless at all? Because we don't see that. We're numb to that. We're numb. They're invisible, easy targets, right? Because you wouldn't even think about, and I'm not saying that's happened. I'm just for conversation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Are we being aware? Are we being mindful of the situation, the words that come out of our mouth? Or you're connecting with that person. Hello. I'm not saying you have to feed them or donate to them. Sometimes they just need a smile or hello. A lot of it's mental illness too. So that's another whole category for a conversation. There's so many variables and so many dynamics that go into play with these different perspectives. But, you know, if we're conscious and mindful of the words that go in our mouth, our body changes, too, because our cells are hearing what we're saying too.
Yes.
So we have massive headache. Well, what have we been talking about? Who have we been talking to? Maybe we just need to clean up our act. Maybe we just need to clean up our words. Maybe we just need to clean up our mindset. Maybe we just need to clean up our environment and the people that we associate with.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a Christian, so I'm not knocking any other religion or
Mhm.
beliefs or anything like that. Um, my belief is, when God had created the world, He spoke,
Mhm.
and then it became.
Mhm.
And so our speech, what is it? When we talk, we're just not using words. We're not just taking the alphabet
Yeah.
and taking certain letters and putting them together to make a word, and then getting other to make a sentence, and then to make a paragraph, and then to make we're also breathing out.
Mm. Mm.
What are we breathing out? We're breathing out carbon dioxide. So there's this experiment that with the plants, one was being talked to as loving,
Mm.
just how are you, because I talk to my plants.
I do too. I do
and
too.
and the reason why is because I'm giving them something that they need, which is my breath, which
Yes.
is carbon, and they're giving me in return oxygen.
Mhm.
So you see that relationship between me and the plant, or all of us
Yes.
actually. And so there was an experiment where the other plant was just being cussed at, and it did not grow,
Mm.
while the other one flourished. It grew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our words have power.
Mhm.
They have impact. They create.
Yes.
They conjure. So
Yes.
yeah, we need to be mindful of it.
Yeah.
Very mindful of how we speak about ourselves, what we
Mhm.
say about ourselves,
Yes.
and how we actually treat ourselves. Because you cannot give anything that you do not have.
Right. Right.
It's the law.
Right.
If
Are
you
you
don't,
familiar with Dr. Emoto, who did um, the water, the speaking the words to the water, and how, and he actually, it's the most fascinating thing ever. Dr. Emoto, he had this theory about how you talk to water and how the molecules shift and they
Mm,
change, right? No one really believed him, and so he set out on this journey, and he literally captured, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of, probably more than that, of pictures. And so so he had water and he would capture images, and would talk good to it. Others it would not be, completely different. And he literally, if you get a chance, like literally, he captures pictures of water being talked to in a good way versus water being talked to.
Wow.
It's the most fascinating thing, and some of the images that he's captured it's amazing. So he wrote a book, and it was self-published. Didn't go through anything, but the science that with his the way he had documented everything, it kind of just it went to the next person, and then he became a bestseller, and he was just really just proving a point that how our words and the things that we speak have power.
Yes, it
Our
does.
body is 70% water, so think about that, the
Yes.
impact of that.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
fascinating, really
Yeah.
fascinating.
I wrote it down. So I'm fascinated by those, those theories and those experiments that, because what is our breath?
Mm.
What is it about our speech? Why is it that when somebody says something to you, it pierces?
Yes.
It
Yes.
pierces you. It's just words. It's just
Yes.
letters. Really? No, they're not. They're
Right.
not. There's energy. There's something attached to it.
Mhm.
When you say, Patricia, I love you.
I love you too.
See the reaction? It's an instant. It's an instant
Mhm.
reaction. But when I say, yeah, Patricia, I love you.
Whatever.
See?
It didn't
So
even feel real.
no, it doesn't. And we can do that. We can feel
Mhm.
that. We can sense it when somebody's talking to us. Okay, what are you not saying?
Exactly. That's my thing.
You're telling me all of this. It doesn't make it okay. Okay. um or because I have my 9-year old, um and she would say something, and I was, okay, what did you do?
Right. You just know, right?
Yes, because of the words that are, and the inflection, and the so when somebody, because there's the art of language, the art of speaking, and
Mhm.
if you look at all of the great orators, all of the great speeches, they have the same cadence, they have the same tone, they have the same pregnant pauses, and it makes an impact. One of
Mhm.
them is John F. Kennedy. Another
Mhm.
one is Lincoln. Another one is Barack Obama.
Mhm.
And the other one is Nelson Mandela.
Mhm.
These are powerful people. Lincoln's address was 50 seconds,
Yeah.
but it was impactful. It was 250 words.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me 250 words impacted the world?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's about, what we say and how we say it, and the intonation. So when somebody says, "Girl, no, I didn't do that." Mm-mm.
That's a
No, no. and what I really love to do is look at the body language
Mhm.
that is not in alignment with to what's being said.
Exactly.
If you look at it, you can look at any movie, any TV show, and you can see it if they're husband and wife, or if they're dating, their body language and what they're saying aligns.
Yeah.
But if they're just actors, acting, like
Yeah.
they're lovers or whatever, and they would say, I will always support you. I love you. I was like, Okay, you're a great actor, but not a good body language person. You need to study body language.
It's so true.
Yeah, body
It's
language.
so true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because your brain, what you're not saying, your brain knows. You hear it hears it, it knows it, so it tells the body. So when you're lying, your body is reacting.
Yes.
Oh no, no, yes, we did it. Yes, we did it. I would
Exactly.
never do that. Never.
Mm,
I would never do that.
mm.
You're nodding your
Listen, I'm too old a cat to be fooled by a kitten. Nice try.
Yeah, but words are powerful. You know
Yeah.
what we say to ourselves and what we say to others, and what we give, what we say, it comes back to us.
Right.
Just like that water experiment. He
Yeah.
captured it. The plant experiment, you can see it. It
Hmm.
manifests itself um, when you say the same thing to you. Can you imagine what's going on inside?
That's what I was just thinking. It's like, think about that. You said, the plant experiment, the water experiment, but what about us? What
Yeah.
about us? We're a living, breathing, walking human being, right? And all of those labels of trauma that we have allowed ourselves to take on, maybe it's just you haven't been spoken to in the right way. Maybe you're not
Hmm.
speaking to yourself in the right way.
Yeah.
But it's also being around a good support system. It's having a good co-pilot. I
Yes.
love that example. It's having a good co-pilot. It's like, mm, let's change that. Just change that sentence, right? And it's not expecting you to do everything overnight, but once you start, you're going to get in a habit. It's like, oh, and then you're going to have, it's like, ooh, I used to talk like that. Ooh. Then it's like, just recently I had someone, I was at an appointment, and she said so. I said, hey, stop. Before we go any further, uh, I need you to go back and say this over again, because that does not pertain to me. She did not like it, and I didn't really care. Because at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm not going to allow those words because A, that's not who I am. B, why did you even say that? Or are you telling all your business clients that? Because she was like, well, I tell clients that all the time because, what are they going to do? It's just money. It's just, whatever. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And this profession, you're in the finance profession. You're a financial. I mean, this is what this is what you do. You're in finance. So you have to really be you can't be telling people you're poor or that they're not going to do this. That's not what she told me. I'm just using that as an example. It's
Hmm.
like you have a platform in this office here that you can really impact a lot of people and maybe not in a negative way. So, well, I was just joking. Well, I'm not. So, I don't know what you do once I leave your chair here, but I need you while you're here with me. You got to talk in a positive word because words have power. And so she was just like, oh, okay. I don't care whether she got it or not, but my journey is that I am being conscious, I am being mindful, I am being aware, and now when you hear it, it's like, oh my gosh, I used to accept just that casual, oh, it's just, just casual conversation. And it's like, no, that impacts everything we do.
Yeah. If you treat how you're spoken to the way you treat what you eat,
Right.
then you would think twice.
Right.
You, if somebody put slop in front of you, would you eat it? I mean, some would. So.
Well, I mean, if we're in the middle of an apocalypse and that's all we had, now we might have to make some exceptions. But
but
since
we're
we're not,
but we're not in the middle of an apocalypse, and
no, I would not.
yeah, you wouldn't eat anything to harm your body.
Right.
You wouldn't take anything to harm your body. You
Right.
wouldn't take, acid and chug it down
Yeah.
because you know the effect it's going to have on your body. So why are you accepting acid words
Right.
coming to you?
Right.
You know, no, well, no, no, I'm not going to do that. Not going to accept it. Um,
Right.
I have learned how to uh, navigate a conversation to where, okay, what are you talking about? You know,
Right.
and I always use the same question. You know, well, it's just money. Well, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
What do you mean it's just money? It's my money.
Right. Right.
So my money is valuable to me because I get up every morning and work
Yeah.
and earn this money. So this is not just money to me. So what do you mean? Please elaborate a little bit. It's just
Yes.
money.
Yes.
I,
Yes.
I like to know. Maybe you can convince me that, yeah, oh yeah, it is just money. No, but I want
Right.
to hear your, you know,
Exactly.
why you said that. I want to
Mhm.
understand your story.
Right.
Want to understand it. And I've been told by a great chaplain when we were in the Netherlands, and he was just the best chaplain ever. He was so sweet. He had a marriage retreat, and he said, "There is truth in saying unjust." I was like, "What?" There is truth in saying unjust. So when you say something, oh, I'm just
Mm.
joking. I'm just joking. I'm just doing this. I was just. So there's a lot of truth to it. And when he broke it down, he said, when you say I am just joking, you meant a little bit of it, but you
Mhm.
made it into, you turned the truth into a mockery.
Yes.
And I was like, whoa,
Wow.
whoa.
Right.
Yeah. Um, so I do that as a reminder for me.
Yeah.
So when I start saying something, I'm just joking.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you turned a little bit of the truth into a mockery.
Wow.
So I was
I
just,
really like that analogy a lot. When you were saying that, it reminds me also when people, they'll say something, but, well, then you just superseded everything that you just said. That's what came to my mind when you said that. I've
yeah.
never, mockery, you think about that word mockery,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the connotation with, I was just kidding. Well, I wasn't, right? Completely different. You have, yes, a matter of fact here a mockery. I mean, well, that's
Yeah.
I really like that a lot. That is that's incredibly powerful.
Yeah. It gives you pause. It gives you pause. So now what I do is I'll say I'm playing. That's when I'm really joking. You know, I'm
Yeah,
playing. Um, but when I hear that, well, I was just joking.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And you know, like the word but or however, you know, comma.
Right.
Same thing, same concept. Well, I agree. However, comma.
However, comma.
No, you don't agree.
Right.
Just say that. No, I don't agree.
Yeah.
You know, I think when we talk or when we have a conversation or when we're telling our truth, when we're telling our story,
Hmm.
I think the freedom of being truthful needs to also, you know, be there because when you're putting a colorful, you know, you're maybe ad libbing,
Right.
maybe you're telling somebody else's story,
Right. Because you need a story.
incorporating in your story, you know,
Yes.
because my story is boring, so I'm going to use somebody else's story as my
Right.
story to tell. Um,
Right.
you know, so just Everybody has a story, and every story is worth hearing.
100%. a hundred
Everybody's
percent.
everybody. One of them said, "Well, I don't have a childhood like yours." That in itself is a story.
Yeah.
How did you grow up? That's interesting. You know, living in a fairy tale. We call it a fairy tale because it's very seldom that that ever happens. So it's
Right.
a fairy tale. I want to hear it. I want to
Mhm.
be able to come into your world and hear
Mhm.
what great parents you had.
Right.
The love that was poured out in that home. I
Mhm.
want to hear that. I don't, you know, it's just me, maybe. I don't always want to hear, "Ooh, really? You got beaten how many times? Ooh, you were forced to strip at a club 10 times. I mean, 10 clubs a night, 7 nights a day. What?
Wow.
I I would love to hear. Yes, my dad would tell me stories, would read me stories every night.
Right. Right. Yeah.
you know, wow. These are the things that it makes you think, wow, there is good in the world.
There is.
There is good in the world.
Mhm.
Those are the stories that also needs to be told.
100%. I agree with you. Um, it's but again, I think we've just as human beings, we've just been desensitized to the gifts that are in front of us that we don't acknowledge just because we don't it's our perspective on it. But if it's a tangible thing, I look into this book and they wrote me this beautiful message. Well, how about I showed up and I just shared my story with you because I just think that you're a genuine person and I feel the energy, I feel the love, I feel the respect, I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a gift that's priceless.
It
That's
is.
a gift that I can hold in my heart. I can hold in my mind. What you said earlier, we first started talking, is those memories as we're remembering the good times. We're not remembering the fights or the uh, the arguments. But the fact that this moment right here, Zaneta on a Saturday morning took her time and shared her story with me. We laughed, got a little serious, but at the end of the day, the energy was flowing. Okay, who can say that? Right now, I can, right? So if I'm sitting in traffic or I'm at the grocery store and I want to get my trauma, I'm like, oh no, I can go back to this moment
Yes.
when someone took their time to share their story with me
Yeah.
and was with me because they wanted to, because you didn't have to show up. You could have said
Right.
no. So the fact that you said yes, what a gift,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And think about the power of that. I conquered that for myself. I'm not a social media person. I personally don't like it, quite frankly. But
Me
I
too.
understand.
I
but
despise it.
but I understand what it does. I understand what it's given me. It's helped me to conquer fears and conquer things that I never would have thought that I would even want to conquer, quite frankly.
Right.
But now hearing people's stories and allowing me to come into their lives and trusting me to listen and just trusting being in my space and vice versa. Think
Mm-hmm.
about the synergy of that,
Yeah. Yeah. Two worlds coming together.
right? And just the power in it though.
Yeah.
Sit with that and tell me you don't feel love and tell me you don't feel compassion for others and compassion for yourself. Tell me now that you're not mindful of words where you might not have the courage yet to say stop, we're going to stop this right now, hashtag stop right now, let's do a different sentence or whatever, right? Might not have that, but at least you are mindful now that, oh, I don't, that didn't feel real good. Wow, who can I go sit with today?
Mm.
and listen to their story. Maybe they just need somebody to talk to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that inner peace and just knowing that is powerful. And
Mm.
now we're not having a just kidding moment, which is a mockery. I mean, though this is really deep when you think about that. The mockery. Or do you want, right?
Yeah.
This infinite love of authenticity
Mm. Mm.
with each other, with ourselves,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just be.
Right.
And then you're not looking for the superficial, I wish I had, they didn't give me a gift or whatever. No, you're looking for, when can I talk to Zaneta again? Or when can I, go smile at someone when I'm at the grocery store? I'm on a mission now. I'm a mobile missionary. I don't have to go out of the country. I'm a mobile missionary. I'm going to smile at somebody today.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. 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 If we can, really look at the world, and sometimes some people say that I'm very optimistic. Yes, I am.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm very optimistic, because we hold our destiny in our hands. We hold the story.
Yeah.
We hold it right now.
Yeah.
Because like what I said earlier, today becomes tomorrow, yesterday.
Right.
So whatever you do today, it's going to be the past. So you can control what's going to be the past.
Right.
There is control. It depends on how you want to tell your past, moving
Yeah.
forward,
Right.
and you can control where you're going.
Yeah.
Um, but if you can take a look at it and look at the world as, what can I give
Right.
and what can I take in?
Right.
What do you have for me?
Right.
Kind of thing. And it's not always, oh, well, I'm going to give you this because I am the guru. I
Exactly.
am the know it all, for all, through
I
all,
love
to
it.
all. Yeah. I am the great. I am the great one. So, um, because as much as traumatic or extreme as my story is, there's someone out there
Mhm.
who has it worse, who
Right.
had it worse, who so it's not a oh, I did this. Oh, well,
Mhm.
somebody is
Yes.
more talented than
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Somebody
Oh,
is
really?
more intelligent than you.
Hmm.
Somebody is more beautiful than you. Somebody can speak well, way better than you. So in your little world, don't make it
Hmm.
seem like that. You're
Yes.
all that. But what can you give?
Hmm.
What you have? What can you give? A smile.
Hmm.
If that's all you have, if that joyous, that jovial, kind of character and personality that you have,
Hmm.
give it,
Exactly.
because it's contagious.
I
It
know.
is contagious when you smile. The grocery store here, we're in a bitty, um, and put a crazy person here.
I literally was thinking that.
And put a crazy person here, I'm like, what is wrong with this girl? What is wrong? She's always saying, hey, how you doing? Oh, thank you so much for opening the door. Oh, wow, thank you. I don't hear it, but now I start to hear it.
Hmm.
When I first moved here, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear, oh, thank you. I didn't hear, hey, how you doing? Good morning. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Have a great day. I
Right.
wasn't hearing it. And because I wasn't hearing it doesn't mean I'm going to go with the bandwagon,
Exactly.
because that's not my
Exactly.
wagon.
Right.
I'm gonna, I'm the majorette of my own band. I'm gonna lead you to,
Right.
yes, we're gonna do some good morning. How are you doing?
Exactly.
Yeah. Let
Yeah.
it be contagious. If it's just that, let it be. Be that, And if
Yeah.
it's not received, it's okay. You gave it
Right.
out. And they will one day appreciate it and say, you know what? That girl, she always comes in here with a smile.
Hmm.
She always comes in here with saying, good morning, how you doing? How's your
Yes.
day? And then they'll start to warm up and do the same.
Right.
Um, you know, make it a
Yeah.
better place.
Yeah. It's really great. And I think sometimes, Zanetta, like, people don't do their own research. There's so much out there. Two books that are really impactful for me. One is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, and he was a physician. It's a short book, but it's so. I mean, it starts out like, oh my gosh, and it's about the Holocaust, and they came in and took everything. He ended up in Auschwitz. He didn't realize that that first day his wife was they had already, she had been killed,
Mm,
and but there in the midst of that darkness, he found there was a window, and even though death was all around, he found meaning there in a tree. I'm not going to give it all away, but I encourage people to go and read that book, because it was a game changer. Another book was that was really powerful, is called Left to Tell. I forget the author's name, but it's Left to Tell,
mm,
and it's about the genocide in Rwanda. But
mm.
in that genocide, that's when she realized, it's a powerful story, who God was and what God was to her, of literally hiding where they had to hide, watching her brothers be killed because they didn't want them human, or they were taken to war, whatever, but left to tell. And now her story is so powerful, right?
Mm,
And if we hear those stories, right, through the eyes of, from a book perspective, and we feel that power, how much more powerful is it if you take the time? Good morning, whatever. Maybe that's going to trigger somebody, like, you know what? You say good morning all the time. Can we meet for tea? Because there's just something about it. Well, now you don't have to read the book. I have a tangible gift now that I can extract. Wow, that energy, right?
yeah,
And I
yeah,
just conquered that. Just like they conquered this. I like
yes,
reading these books, but
yes,
I like the living book.
yes, yes.
This life right here, these seeds that we're planting,
Mm,
these conversations that I can have with a living person. You know what? Hey, let me know when that crazy lady that's always saying, "Good morning, I need to talk to her today. So if I'm on break or whatever, come and get me." Right? To have
mm,
that feeling of conquering, like, no, I'm this time. I don't care if everybody else is like, when she comes in, I need to talk to her,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
that journey begins. Right?
It reminds me of when Paul said we are living epistles read by men.
Mm,
So we're living books
yeah.
read by men or woman, man meaning humankind. Um, but then my question is, what chapter are you on?
You
What
want a synopsis, or you just want to go for the gusto?
you know, what what uh, what uh, what is it? Is it drama
Yeah.
that you're allowing human beings to read,
Yeah.
or is it a story, a book of triumph? Is it a
Right.
book of conquer? Is it a book of love? Is it a book of,
Yes.
So what type of book are you
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, is it
Yeah.
full of drama? Look, I can't stand drama.
Yeah.
I, mm. It is meant for TV. Okay, that's where it's meant.
Excuse me.
It's meant
Yeah.
for entertainment.
Purposes only.
Yes, but, but not meant for real life.
Yeah.
Because there's already too many heartaches going on.
Right.
Like what you said with the sex trafficking and sexual abuse. Even with COVID,
Hmm.
um, there's the uprising of more um, assaults at home
Right.
is happening
Right.
because of COVID. Because of COVID. So, not only the health is being affected, but also now the spirit, the mind, the emotion
Hmm.
is being affected because of what is happening. Uh, the hotline has increased since
Wow.
COVID because everybody's at home.
Right.
So now there's more opportunity
Right.
to have that happen.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, so to give that reading, hey, this is a book. This is a book that you can escape. This is this
Hmm.
this person has that. So if you're portraying drama, no, I already have too much drama in my life. I don't need, I need something. I need something else to read. Um,
Right.
give me triumph, give me happiness,
Hmm.
give me joy, give me
Right.
that let me read that from you.
Right.
Because when I see that from you, I'm like, oh, look at that.
I like it.
It just puts a smile on your face,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that what you said. um you transition from the book to someone tangible that
Hmm.
you can a walking, living, breathing book.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
powerful. That was
Yes, it
powerful.
is. It is. And I, 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 I love relationships. I love building relationships. That's one of my biggest strengths, and, um, I never really saw it as a gift. And then
Mm,
now, though, as I've been on this journey, it's like, no, I have been seeking out living books. I love to read, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's nothing like a book in my hand and turning the pages and putting my bookmark. I love all of that. But connecting to people, and people that you wouldn't think that I would normally connect with, and hearing their stories, and then being able to share it or talk to them and develop relationships. Like over the years, I've looked at like some of the people that I've met. It's like, wow, and it's people tell me things I don't even want to know. It's like I have like come talk to me, right? It's like literally strangers, like, and they're like divulging, like, I'm like, who do I look like? But now I realize, you know what? It's okay. That whatever they saw in me, I accept it. They needed that, and if that was the only outlet that they were able to get for that day, or maybe who knows, I fulfilled that obligation because I showed up and was open to hearing their story. And I don't see it as, why are they doing this? Do I look like I have whoop across my head? I had to stop telling myself that, because I now am in the position of, no, people need people.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
And that's who they needed. And they could share that story with a stranger, versus maybe they were to your point, maybe they're going through something at home.
yeah, yeah. And I love that, because I always ask, some of the ones that have that, I don't know why people always come to me and tell me about their issues, their problems. Oh my God, do I look like a trash can?
Yeah.
Actually, no. You look like a encyclopedia. You look like a
Mm,
dictionary.
mm,
Um, you look like an almanac,
mm,
because um, the gift that we have, and you said it, in the beginning, we have certain gifts in us. And
mhm.
through those certain gifts, we attain those gifts when we go through certain trauma, certain paths, and certain things. We gain that wisdom, we gain that gift.
Right.
And when we gain that wisdom, when we gain that gift, when we gain that knowledge is not meant to be kept for you.
Right. Right.
It's not. a surgeon cannot perform surgery on himself.
Right. Right.
I
Right.
was like, I would like to see that. I would like to see a brain surgeon, perform a brain surgery on himself.
Right.
Um, because it's not meant for you, it's meant for someone else.
Hmm.
And when they come to you with their issues, their problems, or whatever it is that they're saying, it's because they're led to you because
Hmm.
you have the answer.
Yeah.
You have the answer.
Yes.
It's in you. It's in that journey, and you're like, oh, let me look through my almanac. Let me see. Oh yeah, or let me look through my my time when I felt like I was ostracized.
Right.
Oh, let me share. So
Hmm.
that's why,
Yeah.
because we have the answer. All
Yes.
of us have answers to someone's issue,
Right.
all of us. And so for those that are always asking, I don't know why I look like people are just so comfortable telling me their issues, because hello, you got the answer.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
have the answer. You have it, and share,
Yeah.
and that's yes, I've always, even in my darkest times, even in the people will still come to me and tell me about their issues, and I'm like, I have my own issue that I'm
Yeah.
dealing with. And the best therapy that you could ever give yourself is when you're in a dark place, when you're in a situation where you're you're in pain, you're
Hmm.
hurting, you just have this bad breakup,
Yeah.
or whatever the case may be, is to talk to someone else
Right.
that is in that same situation.
Right.
Because we always give good advice to someone else
Someone else. Right.
than we do ourselves.
Yes.
So while you're giving great advice or great wisdom to someone, you are hearing it yourself.
Right.
So now you're saying, "Oh, I'm speaking to me too." Okay,
Right.
let me keep talking.
Exactly.
Let me
It's
keep on
exactly
talking.
right.
Yeah. So you're
Exactly.
helping yourself. When you help someone, you're helping yourself.
Exactly. What a gift.
Yes.
We are all gifts. I think
Yes,
if
we are.
we were to summarize everything though, with between trauma, between the words that we speak and how they have power, I feel that the consensus is that we all have gifts. We are a gift. Acknowledge those gifts.
Hmm.
Acknowledge what you feel or your perspective on trauma and trauma. Would you agree?
Yes. Yeah. We're all. If you look, sometimes the question is, well, why do I have to go through this trauma?
Hmm.
If you go to YouTube and you watch how a jeweler creates the ring
Mm,
from start to
yeah.
finish, and look it through the eyes of the the element, or the whatever they're using.
Yes.
um, let's take a look at gold. First, it's just a rock. It
Mhm.
looks like a rock, and next thing you know, it's being put under extraneous heat to
Right.
where it melts it. And then after it's melted, then it's poured into this hard mold so that
Hmm.
it can be shapen, and then it's put in cold water to where it just shocks it, from
Yes.
being hot to now being cold. So now there's shock going on, and then after that, then there's this, pounding, and it goes back into the heat, goes back
Mm,
into the water, goes back into heat, goes back into pounding. Doesn't that sound like trauma?
mm.
Doesn't that sound like what we are going through when we go through so many traumas.
Right.
But at the very end, the jeweler,
Hmm.
it knows what it wants as a final product.
Yes.
So the more intricate your ring or your jewelry is, the more it went under a lot of traumatic events.
Right. Oh, wow.
That's because it's not just this,
Right.
but it has all of that.
Right.
So
Right.
it had to do that, and the jeweler is very careful because he
Hmm.
knows what kind of product
Right.
he wants at the end. So the people that go through trauma know that you're being just made into this
Mm.
beautiful
Mm. Feels
jewelry.
so good.
Yes,
It does. I'm like, ah.
yes, you're being made into this beautiful jewelry for display, for
Hmm.
someone to say, "Wow, look at this. This is a gift.
Yes.
It's a gift." And
Yes.
if we could see people like that, you know, the traumas and the different things that they went through, whether it be a very simple, but the simple sometimes goes through more than those that are intricate because they
Right.
get shocked
Right.
immediately.
Right.
Just look at YouTube. Look at the
Yeah.
process, and one of them, oh my God, it looks ugly. I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh, woo, who would want that? Oh,
Yeah.
and then
Yes.
the finished
Yes.
product is like, whoa,
Yes. You know,
wow.
I have a friend, and she's an amazing, um she, in her studio, she had posted a few things, and I think it's, I don't know, it said something about a mess, but it was, she did a, like, a little video clip because she makes jewelry, and she was
Oh,
kind of going through so it's really, I love that you have this analogy, because literally she just had posted that. And when you look at it, it's like, man, there's a lot of steps, and she's got all these tools there, and she's got that little, like you said, and but when she shows the finished product, it's like, oh my smokes, this is a beautiful piece. Wouldn't have saw that, and I'm not really creative, so I have to see the file, or just draw a picture, or take a picture of something, and then I can connect. But seeing that whole process, I was like, wow, she does some beautiful work. But there was a there, it's precious metals, and there's a process to each one of that. You have to let it sit for a minute, because it's still warm, and it's still, you can damage it. It can break,
mm,
because the heat
yes,
hasn't been allowed to cool down and just sit,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
So yeah, but then you look at the piece, and she had it on, and it was like, oh my God, that came out of what you just what? That's
right,
beautiful. Wow.
yes, yes.
Great.
And it's the same with us. We are in the hands of the maker,
Yeah.
intricately doing certain things and
Yeah.
carving out, chipping, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the finished product is like, wow.
Yeah.
Now, is it done? No, because you still have to maintain it.
Hmm.
You have to clean it,
Clean it.
in order to show its vibrance. Mine
Hmm.
is not clean.
Polish. That
Right.
polish
Right.
stain. Hmm.
Yeah, because it collects soot.
Yes.
It collects dirt, it collects dust, it collects all these other things. So to continue to
Yeah.
clean it, and so it's not one and done. Once it's done, no, no, it's a continual. It's a lifestyle.
Right. It's a
You know,
lifestyle.
it is a lifestyle, and like your show, living in freedom every
Mhm.
day.
Yeah.
It's a daily thing. It's a daily
The
walk.
daily.
It's a
Yeah.
daily walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zanetta, you are amazing. And I just want you to know that it has, and is, it's not has, it is a true honor to spend this time with you. And I'm just very grateful for your perspective and your insights. I'm very grateful that the trauma is not trauma because you conquered it. It is trauma, but the conquering part, that is, I'm still just, I have that in my spirit right now. The conquering, we conquer every day that we take those steps. And I just want to thank you for sharing that perspective. It's given me a new way of looking at things as well. In every day, in my interactions with people, how can I help them conquer?
Mm.
What can I do to help them conquer whatever trauma that may be? Um, so I really thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
You are truly a gift, and I am so grateful. I really am. It's, the I say I don't really like social media, but because of social media is how I've met some incredible people, you being one of them. So I'm not downing it. I'm conquering it, right? And I'm wanting the gifts. I'm accepting all the gifts. So it is a no robbery and fair exchange, right? So social
Right.
media has been a fair exchange. Social media has been a fair exchange with me. So I have
Yes.
to honor that as well. But
Yeah.
I'm just really grateful for you. Do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share?
Oh, I was, and I keep this in me ever since we were in Germany, and we were in church, and I've never met this man before, and we needed four, three interpreters.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't know him. He started speaking to me as a stranger.
Really?
And so this other person knew what he was speaking and started translating it in German, and then the other one was translating in Flemish, and then the other one was from Flemish to English.
Wow.
Yeah, so there was a chain going on of translation. And he said, I see you in pure darkness. And I'm like, what?
Right?
What in the world? He said, I see you in pure darkness. He said, but don't worry. There's that light that shines, and it's
Mm.
going to shine in you. And
Oh,
when you let
really?
it shine, the
Mm.
darkness must flee. I was like, so now I'm like, I'm stuck on darkness.
Right. Yeah, I can see why. Yeah.
I was stuck. When is this darkness gonna come? What is it? And that darkness came,
Wow.
and I was brought back to what he said, and I was like, ah,
Mm.
let my light shine.
Mm.
So whenever you find yourself in darkness, whatever it is, know that you have the light to expel that darkness.
Just want people to sit with that. I feel that here. It's amazing. I honor you.
Mm.
I honor the work that you do. Keep shining your bright light. I will leave the invitation open to come back on the
Yes.
show again. I would love. There's so many, because I'm sitting here thinking like there's so many things, there's so many topics. Now I'm not really a topic person. I like to have the free flow, but there's so much that I would like to maybe segment and go into more detail and have a conversation about, if you're open to that at any time.
Yes, I am open. You have a free. You have the freedom every day. You have that freedom. Yes. Yes.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I accept. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. I never take liberties. I always ask. I feel it's very important, um, when you're honoring someone else's time too, is to ask permission. So I never take a liberty and just make that assumption. Um, but I do have enough confidence that, yeah, they'll say yes. Because I mean, yeah, why wouldn't you? We're like, we're gifts. Why wouldn't you? Right?
Yeah.
So, but I do want you to know I'm very grateful for that. And so, thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. Beautiful, beautiful story. You're a beautiful person.
Thank you.
And continue to live in freedom every day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to, I'll be right back. Don't hang up.
Okay.
And Zaneta Wooden, everyone. Okay, happy Saturday, everyone. If you guys didn't feel the power of that, I don't know what to tell you, because you need to go back and rewatch and feel and listen to those lessons and listen to the guidance, because at the end of the day, we are all gifts, right? We all have the ability to live in freedom every day. It's whether or not we decide to, that's what we want. So I'm really happy to be able to bring beautiful souls here to share and give you the gift of living in freedom every day. I love you guys. Happy Saturday. Enjoy the weather, but more importantly, be mindful when you go out that all you have to do is smile and be that gift and be that gateway for someone's peace and happiness. I love you guys. Happy Saturday. Until next time. Bye-bye.